Guys, welcome to Offside Laughs on FMS. You know what? Between the English Premier League and other leagues in Europe, what's happening? Because over this week in the European competitions, only one English Premier League club won their game, which was Aston Villa. We saw Manchester City losing to Real Madrid. We also saw Chelsea losing to Paris Saint-Germain. Newcastle were not able to beat Barcelona. Arsenal will travel to Germany.
And they can't beat Barcelona. They were not able. No. Newcastle no find a beat Barcelona.
I'm talking about what happened on Tuesday.
Nah, so what English clubs are on my top. Newcastle shouldn't beat Barcelona.
Really, if you have some
against our pedigree, say Newcastle will be beat here. On my major club.
I saw on some betchem. You see no can was
No. Newcastle couldn't beat like how?
Someone to me,
Barcelona couldn't beat Newcastle.
No, we are talking about English.
What are your club net for? Newcastle say.
Were they able to beat Barcelona?
And was Barcelona able to beat Newcastle?
There's a question.
And was it Barcelona and Newcastle?
He's talking about the Premier League.
Football
was centered on Premier League.
Football, yes, started crying. Because of certain way, the pedigree was showing to your
Nah, pedigree counted. UEFA competitions, pedigree counted.
Pedigree automatically.
And your pedigree and Real Madrid form when come out from home in Suru.
Pedigree bay.
Pedigree home.
We say Premier League international Melano trauma bodo be sure no. I didn't pedigree.
Yes,
she was pedigree.
That wasn't hard to form it, but it was just by the.
So guys,
European get emotion. If I don't find get emotion, Mr. I'll grow a meeting.
Who dia grow? I no crana no can unya.
But it was.
You also be doing the matches over the weekend in Europe. In the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid will have the opportunity to redeem themselves as to whether they will be able to challenge for the Spanish La Liga title. They will play Elche and Barcelona on Sunday. They'll be playing Sevilla. And then in the English Premier League, Chelsea, after that humiliation defeat in France, they'll be playing Aston Villa. Will they be able to get a win to try to prepare for the next leg against Paris Saint-Germain at the Stamford Bridge? And Manchester United will also be playing a lot of matches. And the big game over the weekend is going to be Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur. Is it
big game? It is a big game.
It's a big game.
It is a big
Spurs.
Big game.
It's a big game.
It's not a big game.
All right, so
you bet fan is saying a big game because Spurs form, but
based on names, Tottenham Liverpool is actually a category A B game in the English Premier League. But do one thing. Subscribe to the channel, the 4 Post Podcast. Subscribe, turn on post notification bell.
Video.
You know something? Currently, we have 5,997 subscribers on the 4 Post Podcast. We need 3 more subscribers after this video. Watching 5 minutes of this video. After 5 minutes, 5 minutes after the video is posted, we need 6,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So please do well and subscribe. And after subscribing,
to tell a friend to tell another friend.
Exactly. You also like the video, you share, and the last thing, drop your comments in the comment section. It's very important.
Is your own comment?
Mr. Srifi, the corporate man.
Mr. Srifi,
how Srifi wow.
Too corporate.
Headmaster.
Head you. Almost me with the finance sports.
That's a mic no so the position.
Almost a headmaster.
Na say okoye social studies.
Masa.
Okoye course be OSS. Tertiary.
Me call tertiary so.
We teacher ni.
Me teacher.
You can say headmaster.
O teacher ni o upper primary education. Si obeche
upper primary
our people.
Levi manya upper primary.
Junior
GHS education.
Yeah.
Oyo social ni.
As we obeche you chi. Chi nim dia kwankyere.
Ede ni edi.
Mesi menye teacher ni da.
Mesi I don't know nye teacher ni da.
Ade akwa menye. Dem ka mini mo se.
Obeche chi nim dia kwankyere. Ene ayi.
Edi si anamo.
Ene Kofi Bede. What was that story? Kofi Bede.
Mr. Srifi.
Treat teachers deep.
We dey la kum we dey treat teacher pa.
We nye Mr. Crouch change near Srifi.
Say la kum. All right. Let's get back to business.
Okay.
Over this week, UEFA Champions League, Europa League, and then the UEFA Conference League. We saw a lot of matches. We saw Crystal Palace play. We saw Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest. Fortunately for the English Premier League clubs, they had a lot of representatives in these various competitions.
Because last season they performed very well. So.
Yes. So in the Champions League, for instance, they had 6 clubs playing out of the 16 clubs that qualified for the round of 16. English Premier League clubs had 6 clubs representing them. And then the Europa League, a lot of them, and then the Conference League too. But unfortunately, only one team won within this week. I mean, what's happening? What might be wrong? Mr. Asrifi.
Go first one. Okay. You see, football fans emotional.
Mm-hmm.
They base among Komobi on the recent situation there,
Okay.
because at the point in time after UEFA Champions League group stage phase, automatically now English teams bear 5 or 4 now qualify.
Yeah.
And the narrative around that conversation at that point in time was English Premier League the best league.
Yeah.
And arguably, English Premier League the best league. And you see, a league be a best league. It doesn't necessarily mean say in terms of field and aspects and quite more best.
Okay.
Say their performance. Their performance is part of the factors. So they say a certain league be they're ranking the first ahead of a certain league.
Yeah.
It's based on performance, based on broadcast revenue, based on kind of monetary aspect. The value of players near about that league, and a UEFA coefficient ranking at a point in time based on the UEFA leagues are all particular years and previous years. And see when the factors are I am the best league. In the man vopi na say yes English Premier League na best league. Man vopi na narrative yes we best league there because it's on the field on our best in other leagues, Yeah. But and yet that's not the case. It's American the reason why I can say league be best. And again, what you can say you based on this UEFA Champions League this week performance of English teams, a big so I can say the best league. And as a big so I can say more for.
Okay.
Me can be the performance of English teams this week over the UEFA Champions League, And I'm surprised. Do you know why? Okay. Matches now English Premier League teams ni lose, And your matches are everyone was say English Premier League teams lose because say Manchester City, Ekopimo Santiago Bernabeu. That's a Real Madrid team, in UEFA Champions League in contest. It's Manchester City. You can talk about the margin, but any news.
No, but you are talking about a Real Madrid.
No, maybe
struggling.
You see, you can talk about Real Madrid team. Say, on the morning this season, particularly in the UEFA Champions League contest, previous season, this season, and your best because group phase is no crowd. What team qualify automatic?
Yes.
They be on playoff.
Even the playoff match they played against Benfica.
They see say on performance in here, but they be a team come say Real Madrid no. You can talk about their form. But say by in the context of UEFA Champions League, they are different breed altogether. Okay. Men fast man to make us say as ye who can massive a part of them in UEFA Champions League now.
What's a competition?
It may be you can doubt say yes and City for us. But ultimately you soon film as factor see the Real Madrid in UEFA Champions League contest. It may be on the day Real Madrid shall be say Real Madrid form here. But Busan say City now baby facing Real Madrid City form it say
Madrid for.
And Real Madrid in what contest? In the UEFA Champions League this because of qualify automatic. But prior to the last match of UEFA Champions League, now City does say. If I don't see come City performance previously with the UEFA Champions League, compared to the recent performance, obeti me aya adwen say on performance na so what to their standard norm setting at a point in time in the UEFA Champions League. And again, part the Princess one like Chelsea for lose 5-1. You can talk say at a point in time, but one of game or the UEFA Club World Cup no. Chelsea for share Paris Saint-Germain. I know many UEFA Champions League winners. Okay. But part the Prince one in the UEFA Champions League historical aspect between them in favor of Chelsea that title power pack the Prince one. Go winning margin for water. And even in their home, say one knockout stage with UEFA Champions League. No much Paris Saint-Germain 3 consecutive times so much Paris Saint-Germain in the frame. And so pack the Prince. Checking out the performance of Pat the Prince, Obeka say inconsistent. Sounds on a Chelsea performance after the exit of Enzo Maresca, so I inconsistent when Liam was nearby.
Even before Enzo Maresca exits, now
Because in big match, Liam Rosine by Albania, and was in a performance, no, and up to that part now, and so Maresca set match Chelsea, no, big game this season. And the change vocal part the prince and historical aspect in favor. Performance wise, on more than one hour form into a colossal on my way any news. And again, Newcastle St. James Park, not in Barcelona, but not so draw 1-1 cry. A positive for Newcastle themselves. Because the pedigree of Barcelona for living this competition, this season particularly their performance compared to Newcastle, no, I'm Ben Barcelona. Memo be wouldn't say group stage phase, no boy. I was St. James one Barcelona head, Echo share. Into this kind of results, any one again, Ugo Pian Wanda Metropolitano one ma. Tottenham was pay. This season were the UEFA champions. Obeka say under Thomas Frank. No give out a good performance until a guarantee of automatic sport qualified there. But on my performance, later part of Thomas Frank, and I say I go to the buy 4 matches in our lose. And some about Atletico Madrid Wanda Metropolitano, no about 3 consecutive matches in annual lose. And Atletico Madrid in UEFA competitions, won't even for Tottenham was pedigree no compare. This is a Wanda Metropolitano because for Oko Vicente Cadron. Omufri Vicente Cadron, Aben Wanda Metropolitano, no. Wanda Metropolitano in UEFA Champions League contest, he is yet to lose. And to check the performance of Tottenham was pay under I go to the. Now Moko Wanda Metropolitano, no Mokolusu with this goal margin, you will not be surprised. Surprising performance in by BO4 Arena. That is Arsenal, caught by surprise because I expected Arsenal to go and win at B Arena. But you can talk about Arsenal performance over the UEFA Champions and the league and European season this season. One of the best seasons. Because of their performance. In Tomoko Bay Arena, now check the performance of Bayern for Leverkusen. Now any up to that standard compared to Arsenal. Obeka definitely obey my work with better competition and surprise it means small teams at the point in time cause upset. In Tomoko draw maybe a upset because of how I put Arsenal through in this face of UEFA Champions League, particularly this season. It may be an open-ended surprising performance for me English Premier League teams. But the rest, normal. Galatasaray Liverpool, yes, that's one. For Istanbul, historical aspect of the game between them. Say Liverpool ko Istanbul, ne Galatasaray, omunya win order. And the proud to the game, maybe I can say Liverpool ne Galatasaray. First leg, second leg, minimum say there were armed for Liverpool by Juana there. But for Istanbul, it will be difficult for Liverpool because of the historical aspect and again their performance away this season. Okay. And to be this performance English Premier League no in this week enyano UEFA Champions League enyame surprise. And to me ujina so catch them say because of the performance in it. That year, because the Premier League and best league, in terms of performance, we share this leagues teams no man on what the money of them best in terms of performance. I would disagree. So, because it's normal for this to happen.
So not only in the Champions League,
okay,
in the Conference League as well. Crystal Palace played AEK Larnaca from Greece.
Okay,
Crystal Palace played at home. It ended in a 0-0 draw.
0-0
And in the Europa League, Aston Villa traveled to France and they beat Lille. And also, Nottingham Forest played at home. They lost to Midtjylland.
Midtjylland?
Yes.
Maybe with the results of this English Premier League teams in the Europa League, but imagine as well as I say, okay, more than one of them. But if you are assessing the Premier League, base it on their teams playing in the Europa Leagues.
No, but we are talking of a European competition. Yes, we claim the English Premier League is the
okay,
best
ask
league
yourself of the other leagues. Compared to Premier League because of their recent performance. Almost play teams, we Europa League.
Okay, so
the
Europa League. Then let's do. We usually do the Spanish clubs.
Okay.
So in the Europa League, Real Betis traveled to Greece. They played Panathinaikos. They lost by 1-0.
Okay.
That was in the Europa League. And then Celta Vigo, they played at home. They played 1-1 to Lyon. Now in the Conference League for the Spanish clubs. But unfortunately, no Spanish club was qualified
in the
for
Conference
the
League.
Conference League.
So
in the Champions League, Spanish clubs in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid has played Tottenham Hotspur. Barcelona played a 0-0 draw, then Real Madrid they defeated Manchester
And you see,
City.
America heard they all can Europa League. You can't two teams play a free La Liga no? And they boy Europa League. Omu nyina so anya proving performance. Because ba ko lose away and ba ko draw. Compared to the English Premier League, number of teams in the group and their results.
Europa League, Premier League had two.
Almost draw and they lose.
Yes.
Inti we are normal. And compare that leagues in Spanish La Liga particularly. So we winning UEFA Champions League. There be numbers of most numbers of Premier League teams in European competitions. But menu be there dance they say by European competitions. Both UEFA Champions League and Europa League. Liga or more number teams or match most for Spanish League. Into no matter the numbers are English Premier League in Baba with the historical aspect of leagues now in European competitions, Spanish La Liga, only the one craba, only a competitive more than that England teams be no the ban. And I read testament to it.
Alright, so let me bring you in, Mike.
Okay.
We're having this conversation. Yes, it's agreed. English and the Spanish clubs dominated the UEFA Champions League and then the Europa League. But we are talking about English Premier League clubs. That's in every summer. We see them squander a lot of money to get players. Typical example is Liverpool. Liverpool might not have the history at the Rem Stadium in Galatasaray. But look at the additions Liverpool made after they won the league last season. They spent over 300 million on players recruitment. Look at Arsenal. Look at the amount of money they spent. Even the Bayer for Leverkusen they played with, they are sixth on the German Bundesliga table. Crystal Palace. For that one, I don't want to have that conversation. Crystal Palace Barcelona because it was not a big game. Definitely, Newcastle cannot face Barcelona. But Real Madrid and Manchester City. Even though we will see Manchester City or Real Madrid added some players to their team during the summer transfer, but look at the additions Manchester City made. And even in January, look at the players they signed. Why? They have the money. They have the power to get in the best players to their teams. So yes, historically, you might not have certain good results in your league, but these teams are claiming because they are able to, even now, they're able to bargain and get the best players ahead of these Spanish clubs because of money. And they're competing very well in their leagues. Their league is very competitive. So definitely in some matches, before the round of 16 matches started, the conversation around was that we're actually going to get to know the true difficult league in the world. That was the conversation around, because they said the 10th place English Premier League team will be facing the first place Spanish La Liga team, right?
That was Newcastle.
And after that game was played, that Barcelona were not able to beat Newcastle. What was the narration? That even Barcelona could not beat the 10th place team in the English Premier League. How can they play the first place team in Arsenal, who are potential opponents in the Champions League because of where their parties? You understand? So they said even one team and share Newcastle. When Arsenal be share Barcelona 8, send the buyer share Barcelona 2019. What they say, you get it. So look at these things and look at the narration. And they said the second place team in the Spanish La Liga will be facing the second place team in the English Premier League. You understand? So those conversations that came up and the results that ended up at the end of the day has brought this kind of conversation and narration.
Okay, well, I think say if you are talking about the English Premier League and La Liga, I think say mostly football fans there can be no. Udi HPR, you make a lot of conclusions into things because mostly they talk about preference, their favoritism, and also their emotions. Into the Premier League, I say, may not be defending Premier League. They pay the Spanish La Liga, seems to be defending Spanish La Liga, which is normal. Will be one of the preference normal because said you will be supporting Leo Messi, no, so I will be supporting Cristiano Ronaldo. One concepts now may try some maybe. But the truth is, now with the English Premier League as a whole, no, said they now lack of mokano. Or say people are making judgment on the English Premier League because of the incidents at SCCA. Because in the past now, If you are not the top 6 Premier League clubs, are qualifying to the knockout phase of the competition, they were all shouting, English Premier League is the best league, is the best league, is the best league, because those times, me qualify, 16 net me by. Now, within this week, Baku Credit me a winning game. It was only Aston Villa a winning game. Yes. Out of 8 clubs qualify for the European competitions, That was 9, right? Yeah. Only Aston Villa and quantity me there. A winning game. So people have started some assumptions say Premier League, I can't say papa the crown, say papa because say Omen's me a winning and within this week and the win was minimal or something. Cool. But yet me for win judge the Premier League. Them makers and say majority of these Premier League clubs go away. You use that factor as an example. Now, imagine say Chelsea Echo Park the Prince Akobo against Paris Saint-Germain. Let's not forget say this Paris Saint-Germain now Chelsea Akobo Etiano no. Or a defending champion of the competition. I will look forward they say Obe performing very well. No say defend the title ni biemu. Inti someone no reinforcement baby on the setup mu. And no they compete. So what they make can I say? Inti no enquire is the match Chelsea were away. So it makes a lot of sense to say Chelsea will go to Paris Saint-Germain, Park the Prince to get a manageable result, not about Stamford Bridge.
But was it a manageable result?
It wasn't a manageable result
because they lost 5.
They lost 5. And Kobanesa, Wakwa could lose 5.
And you see, the way things are going, it's likely 3 of the, 99%, 3 of the English Premier League clubs
will be out of the Champions League. That's a fact. They are almost back to Omunyan free because competition with there.
That's why I said.
Yeah, but first round, we are the 2 opponents. Enti, Ankobani, but that doesn't necessarily mean say Chelsea, and a Premier League, competition, no Omunya there.
Okay.
It's because opponent no question on any other day in a Juma year. And Premier League, enter me the X factor say, Ubo Premier League competitive in the game be also could be our berry. There be opponents so prepare when it comes to European competitions like this, will be ready to compete. And even Bodo Glems to cry in the first time over and the knockout phase of the competition. Look at surprises or the money. Now how much more Paris Saint-Germain now on only defending champions, and on to us also fighting for the title be.
Good. You see, what has been the performance of Paris Saint-Germain this season, both in the Champions League, in the league?
Okay.
You make reference. I don't want you to make reference to what happened last season.
Okay.
Because last season, even though they played the playoffs before they qualified to the round of 16 and they faced Liverpool and eliminated Liverpool. But look at Paris Saint-Germain's performance last season in the league before they even went to play the playoffs in the Champions League. They had a very good performance in the league.
Okay.
But this season, both the league and the Champions League, the performance is not that solid. They've been inconsistent, you understand? So looking at the inconsistencies of Paris Saint-Germain, even though Chelsea are inconsistent, and Chelsea were able to beat Paris Saint-Germain at the Club World Cup final by 3-0. And then in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League, mind you, when these same Chelsea players were asked ahead of the draw of the UEFA Champions League group stage draw, the 2 teams they mentioned that they wanted to face,
Paris Saint-Germain and
Barcelona. Yes, they were able to beat Barcelona, and now they've given you Paris Saint-Germain. And you see, it's not like losing to Paris Saint-Germain is a news, no, because as you said, they are defending champions.
Yeah.
And it's not like losing 5-2 is a news, but the manner at which they considered that last 3 goals. As at 70th minute, it was 2-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from 70th minute to 90th minute, 20 minutes.
76 to 90.
76 to 90 minutes. That was 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
And you were able to concede 3 goals. So that has been the conversation. And based on what these Premier League fans started with, because when 6 of their clubs qualified to the round of 16, they said it is a clear evidence if you are playing the Champions League and 6 clubs from one league is featuring in the round of 16, then that means it's the best league, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So why is it that you don't want us to have that same conversation when after the first round of matches in the round of 16, in the round of 16 games, 3 of the clubs are likely to be eliminated?
That's why I stated say clubs in the majority are away. So, and I must say, Chelsea playing a new Paris Saint-Germain were away, All bad is to Park the Prince. And it's true. Said they even Real Madrid all bad history 80 yard no. Sounds so now Manchester City is what bad history on him for. Santiago Bernabeu. Into a corner man. On him say in as much as say even me one form mpono. There is a factor say me cut that stadium pitch where ya me sofa. So I have to go there and get some manageable result. But the thing is Chelsea and Kwan. That's fine. Man City enya.
Tottenham.
But there was Liverpool. Tottenham they can't ask him say and him say this is in the form
Nya clubs.
Enya season enya. So what the American say.
Okay.
Anna Thomas Frank they were performing.
Okay, good.
He go to Dubai and Kuyi.
So in this case, you are making a case for Tottenham Hotspur's form this season.
Form nya.
But you're not making a case for Manchester Real Madrid form this season too. Because Real Madrid form this season nya.
Real Madrid form aye there.
Madrid form here.
Aye there.
Enya. Nya kan okre. Real Madrid.
Real Madrid is in second of Spanish La Liga.
Oh.
Round of 16 of round of 16 of the Champions League.
Good. Now in the Champions
The other is switching him 4
Real
points.
Madrid.
Form na anyway.
Real Madrid.
Maybe he's comparing the form to the standard of Real Madrid.
Exactly. Real Madrid in their best element.
Okay.
Omo nkobo playoff of the UEFA Champions League.
My menchira DB. Real Madrid in their best element. Onim say time omoji to repeat, you know. There was only one time pen omo top omo league. Omo top omo sorry. Omo top omo group. There was only one time.
Good. Real Madrid.
And so omo go on
Real
competition.
Madrid, Real Madrid in
So
their
you
best
can't say
element.
Real Madrid playing the playoff no guarantees and the form on yet.
No, but
See.
You understand?
No, but evidence say Real Madrid form in based on a lot of situations that they are going through right now. Look at their injury crisis. Your midfield now, your team now Manchester City. Look at the midfield.
Okay.
Abeloa had to adjust. Go with the 5-man midfield. Peter Chimu nyina be bobi. Say Real Madrid players now fit bearing injuries will be playing us. We play the same round of 16 match at the Santiago Bernabeu.
I truly understand. But when me underrated Real Madrid, if it's a Castilla players when it's not pitch, this why it's Real Madrid.
It's Real Madrid.
You see, Albert is not underrating Real Madrid. He's comparing Real Madrid
But the
previous
concept
season in the UEFA Champions League.
the
contest.
concept na say.
Okay.
But there has been time Real Madrid na the form and since. But they went on to compete
And they won the Champions League.
and they won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Make a clinical example of 2016
Real Madrid form.
under Zinedine Zidane.
Real Madrid form.
2016.
2016.
I hold almost sacred Rafael Benitez, you know.
So when they started,
Let's not forget, was sacred Rafael Benitez of
No,
bad performance.
you see,
Zidane by half season, change situation, no.
Okay.
So the thing is, Real Madrid, they don't need an exceptional form to compete in the Champions League.
That Mama can about Rafael Benitez being sacked. Yeah, can't Belua form need an 18 coin because of social Manchester City. And then 18 because of social Manchester City. Yeah, forming in form Real Madrid born a bono.
Now, me say concepts now I'm building. No, me say what compared to the Madrid in their best element. This current Real Madrid in Honum. I truly understand. But the main change say Real Madrid here a great form and exceptional form to win the Champions League. Yes,
you see, me, that is the reason why I disagree with people. Not you see, I disagree with them. Sometimes I side with them because because UEFA Champions League, you know, home far Real Madrid and all that. But you see this factor, and the discredit when even Real Madrid is giving a good performance, because nobody can convince me. See any UEFA Champions League best team be than the Real Madrid TP team. But they associated their Champions League with the UEFA Champions League lack. Me sad meeting. So I say that UEFA Champions League lack contest now. I say Real Madrid Real Madrid focus win that repeat. That performance now normal man the yanka. That tactical aspect of Zidane Zidane the place performance yanka.
Now
they no associate you.
Man discredit Zidane. He did an incredible job. Because to be able to come as an interim manager at the end of the season, won the Champions League, near the Jumana Mao, now first full season as a Madrid signed manager, won the Champions League, defending the back-to-back. Or second season as a fully signed Madrid manager. Didn't America say the first season was an interim manager? What's at the Champions League? What in the 3 times what in a row? Me discredited that fact, you know. And you know, I don't know many Manfred the video. No, catch me say Gareth Bale will say Zidane ya the only thing I know and say Omukobo Barcelona games are they only do some 15 minutes preparation on defensive tactics. It is Zidane in tactical. Me can say no, me because the moment what many 15 minutes as you I'm be concerning the defensive structure, it's a tactics. So what the Americans men discredit no, but the main person say Madrid don't need an exceptional form to win a Champions League because the competition almost here.
Okay, good. I understand. Competition almost here, but they don't need an exceptional form to win the Champions League. They need exceptional individuals to stand up and decide moments.
Yes.
In every department. Hold on.
Yes.
Madrid defense now on the ball Manchester City. Madrid defense now on the ball Manchester City.
Madrid defense.
The Horsing, Rudiger, Arnold, and Ferland Mendy.
Midfield no ball.
Thiago Pitach, Aurelien Chouameni, Arda Güler, and on the left side of the midfield is Ibrahim Diaz on the right.
Then number 9. Two from two anymore. Now let's cast our minds back. The recent one now Muji. But Real Madrid centre backs need.
Centre backs no. Last one NGB. Yes. It was
Dani
Cavaya, Rudiger, Alaba player.
Nacho.
So
because Nacho, I remember now
Nacho Jine NGB. Then Nacho Anna Ferland
Mendy. Now look at the midfield. Toni Kroos,
Valverde, Camavinga,
Tchouameni, Bellingham, Vinicius Junior,
Rodrigo.
Even recent one now, Muji Yekurano. That time they had Courtois, they had Toni Kroos. Now Modric crowd. So look at that team, and look at the current Real Madrid team, and look at the results in recent matches. This is the same Real Madrid team which struggled against Celta Vigo days before they played the Manchester City game. Federico Valverde's last minute to get a win. Before the Celta Vigo game, they had lost to Osasuna in the league. Getafe. They had lost. In the Champions League, before the round of 16, the last Champions League game they played was against Benfica. And look at the slim margins they took to win against Benfica.
That is why they made Cheney say, they might make us say Madrid doesn't need exceptional form to win the Champions League. Now, hey, 2016, maybe repeating a site example. Somebody more cited the domestic form of Madrid chipping into the Benfica game by 2016. Madrid is second. Laliga. That season the Champions League.
Good. So 2017.
2017. NOG League Champions League at the same time. 2018, we did third at the Champions League. So what did they make? Say? So Madrid, that repeats now. See that Madrid club, players need two exceptional. They have an exceptional.
But they were exceptional.
Oh, Mejitum say, Medicine so. Menka so many exceptional. They did very well. Those players were exceptional. No? Domestically, those players couldn't compete very well.
Good.
So but when it comes to Europe, they had that mentality and character to fight for the club. Good. And I mean, so
it blended with the quality they had. In 2016, League now man team contested domestically in 2016. Barcelona squad, no.
Check the performance of Barcelona in those years now. Barcelona,
check because Barcelona squad in the league.
Real Madrid team 89 points. Now league no want me because of the performance of Barcelona in the league. But in the UEFA Champions League, Real Madrid was giving out a good performance. So our track group stages now.
In 2017, Madrid edgy league got a 3 points for Barcelona. 1993.
So look at so at that time.
Check the performance of Barcelona.
Barcelona had a certain Messi. They had Neymar. They had Suarez. Look at the midfield. They had Iniesta, Rakitic.
So are you telling me? Are you telling me this Real Madrid team can challenge this current Barcelona?
They can't. If the Madrid testament don't want to be.
If the Madrid team wins,
I'm coming at that kind.
Good. That is it. If the Madrid or good team,
Barcelona performance lose matches no Rodri. Say Real Madrid won the best form now. Previous years now more kura no team competing. Cause I years na kine for performance o me dey kakra ba. Coming at that kind.
Because look, yesterday season na Madrid na dey kind right.
Yeah.
Barca be take over.
Roma sabe chimses esa manza meti.
Barca sabe take over. Roma sabe take over.
Asaje.
Asa ko Lucia ma Barca sabe ba take over.
Ma lose 2-2 against Getafe.
Be another inconsistency of clubs we mean no compete for the league no. Barca inconsistent. Madrid inconsistent.
Yes, that's what we are talking about.
But the only thing they say, this Barcelona squad, there's a mentality on teams say they don't give up when it comes to domestic trophies. So what the American say? Domestically, and I always say within the last 10 years, domestically, Barca has been better than Real Madrid. So what the American say? So that has built that mentality, But that doesn't. And only just say Real Madrid team went to compete Barcelona domestically.
Yes. This Real Madrid team, if they can do good, If they were good,
they are good. Some commanders they are not good.
No,
You can't tell me a team of Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham. Now,
so why are they not competing?
Currently all competing very well. Thibaut Courtois at Pom, you are telling me
why
they can't compete against this Barcelona young team.
So why are they not competing?
It's because of the mentality is in there.
What is the mentality?
it's about our mentality in Madrid.
What's it?
What's the mentality in Real Madrid?
When it comes to domestic mentality, that's what that mentality is in Real Madrid. Men Canada in recent years. In the last 10 years.
Okay, maybe.
In the last 10 years.
In the last 10 years, that's what that mentality is in Madrid when it comes to domestic trophies.
Right?
The thing is,
in the last 10 years, we're talking about from
2016,
right? Good. 2016.
Barca and G League.
2017.
Real Madrid and G.
2018.
Barca and G.
2019.
Barca and G.
2020.
2020 Madrid and G.
Atletico Madrid did one where.
What's it? 21.
Atletico Madrid they
Why did two?
See, 2 leagues now, Kano. Why did Baku 2014?
No.
From
2016 they are
going on the 2014. Check it. 2014. And after that, after it seems 7 years later, and I Cholo Simeone 21 as RJ. Check it.
So, I mean, we did check.
Sydney 2019. So, 19 Barca and G.
So the fact that
20 in Madrid Beji.
So the fact
21 Let's go Madrid. 22 in Madrid. 23 Barca.
What I want you to understand here is that the fact that only Tottenham performance ever into the conversation. That's why I want you to also consider Real Madrid in that conversation.
If you are talking about performance, Madrid is not bad. Tottenham is extremely bad. And more be another. Make Tottenham performance when you're talking about Real Madrid.
And is Atletico
team out that second. Spanish La Liga. What could be team Manchester City? And you are talking about performance here. What about to Tottenham? Let's be fair. Tottenham team where mentality na here. As on Bobo, way.
No, yes. I understand. But now look, which team the Tottenham Hotspur play against?
Atletico Madrid.
Has Atletico Madrid been consistent this season too?
But if you are comparing Atletico Madrid to Tottenham Hotspur, Atletico Madrid has been better this season than Tottenham Hotspur in all aspects. Tactically, mentality-wise, but pure the mono. And man in that was Tottenham competing in the top 8, so that makes them exceptional.
Yo, Atletico Madrid in 2020, 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
And on back 2014.
Yeah. So in the past 10 years, Barcelona for AG League, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Real Madrid, I just say.
Real Madrid AG 1, 2, 3, 4. And Atletico Madrid back.
So they haven't been dominant.
And I'm saying, make sure in the last 10 years, numbers, no one lead the league,
League near Barcelona or 5 and I Real Madrid or 4.
I don't know. It's and you say we say when 10 and sana
but Real Madrid mentality competing for the
domestically Madrid has not got that.
But 5 no 5.
They haven't gotten that. And they're fact.
5 no 5.
Because you can't tell me say Cristiano Ronaldo Real Madrid within 9 years, 2 La Liga trophies. A player of that caliber of Cristiano Ronaldo. That shows how within that years now, Madrid domestically, men say they were weak, but the mentality wasn't there.
Nabas Afonso.
Oh.
Nabas Anthony Messi.
So be what point you be what point. What meaning is as a Barca or Messi.
Domestic trophies here wouldn't worry 10 years. If so, Real Madrid mentality now disagree. Because the 10 years, no, just 4, now, just 5. That's a team back, meaning maybe that is not that different. It was Real Madrid competing for them, not you.
Within that years, within that 10 years, within that 10 years, starting from 2016, Barcelona GC say 0. Real Madrid, as you say, within that period.
Within that 10 years, Omaji bear 5.
Take the interval.
Omaji bear 5. Into honor, mentality no him. Madrid, will use your mentality.
Because say if Seka Barcelona the 4 and 5. You see, Seka Barcelona the 4 a different context.
Let's not forget. There were seasons and Barcelona. Only the Laporta befa Barca 2021. No, Barca were sinking. And we call for there are remember some players better set up with him. The following season Xavi Hernandez befa in the following season was G League.
Mark, Mibuso Asimi has Real Madrid lost the credibility in terms of the pedigree for UEFA Champions League recently.
On lose the pedigree.
But Barcelona lose. Do you know why? Because yes.
Barcelona losing the pedigree.
Because what? Yes,
they are some class on Barcelona Munsuro.
Because yes, not but what the league, that scenario now they ban. Say because the Real Madrid 5 in 10 years, mentality will lose because
lose mentality
in the league. Nobody losing mentality no.
Because Michel Maker say Barca having that losers mentality because say Barcelona fans as a whole no. If say Barca equal lose game near they share and away pra and away him. But Madrid with series of injuries were able to beat Manchester City. So the American say. So the mentality of Barcelona when it comes to European competitions, I am down.
So you see, you are saying with the series of injuries with Real Madrid, they were able to beat Manchester City. Look at this thing. That means you admit that this Real Madrid team is not the best.
Depleted.
Yeah. And the man here big club no. Big club in as much as squad.
No, so no matter what,
you should find ways a means to win.
No matter the situation why big club or tennis and also of course upset in this kind of results. Never remember they depleted, yes or no? And yes. So no matter the situation, say remember the best champions or depleted or depleted.
Madrid will qualify against Manchester City.
Oh, Madrid will qualify. City has no chance to do a comeback.
The next team they are going to face is Bayern Munich. Look at this Bayern Munich team. Me, Mekan had him say, if they do not recover all the players at Madrid, they will not. Madrid will be in their best element. They can't beat Bayern.
And I'm saying, say, if Madrid, Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal, and say Bayern Munich will form league phase with the second, fine, no problem. But on any other day, if Madrid is having Kylian Mbappe more available, they can compete against Bayern Munich. Canada.
You see, they can compete. Yes, they can compete.
You know himself. When it's come to the Bayern Munich Real Madrid fixture, Madrid is inside the Bayern. So,
yes, but you see, okay, in the Champions League, what was Arsenal's pedigree in the Champions League last season before playing Real Madrid?
0. That one day I accept.
But what happened?
What to me share no?
Because of what?
There are some teams Democrat may beat Real Madrid. I asked BT Real Madrid. And him saw 3 times in a row or pedigree or test you see on that. But the last time I see and I check mentality in here. But what to me beat Real Madrid?
Good.
Into another chance say Menka say Real Madrid. One thing they say they are getting Menka say Real Madrid and you beatable. Real Madrid is beatable. So what the Americans say? They are beatable. But the main chance say Madrid need an exceptional form to compete in the Champions League because a competition on
and that's what Lacombe is trying to tell you, that sometimes they're turning blind eye to certain performance of Real Madrid because you feel like they know the moment, they take advantage of the moment.
Real Madrid needs exceptional performance on Madrid UEFA Champions.
Look at what they
did. You see, yeah, be about Real Madrid forgive shambolic in the UEFA Champions. I'm going when massive Porto 2018-2019 Red Testament. And for the Real Madrid, it was at the Santiago Bernabeu. Yes,
and this year now, Madrid is shambolic. I could beat Manchester City now.
But
and you might cry quarterfinal round of
the major member states say they are fixtures like Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Roma Madrid. If Barcelona any the best element in the Kwakwisha Bayern and Kamesuro. So what they make gonna say. But Madrid facing Bayern Munich is not a big fixture. Make us say make a big man this facing Bayern. And yet like
Adia Usroma Real Madrid.
Sana beza me jam.
And also Usro.
Diamenso me can say. The Awoka say Real Madrid don't need an exceptional form to win the UEFA Champions League. I disagree. And here is my reason. Yeah, be at Real Madrid for winning the UEFA Champions League. Since I'm supporting Real Madrid, I have witness to it. I saw Real Madrid giving an extraordinary performance right from quarterfinal to the final. And son of magic. You see, 2014, Real Madrid, right from the quarterfinal phase, omitting big club and big club. Ushoma, one extraordinary performance. I that lack of UEFA Champions League in the tone change and Red Testament to the maker and say Real Madrid for time on mama extraordinary performance in the UEFA Champions League phase. Check it team say you and the manner at which I'm the same. 2018-2019 was Santiago about. I asked the show say 4. At the point in time. Manchester City be Real Madrid home and away. At the point of Real Madrid or 5-1.
Okay, so my question is this season can Madrid go far in the UEFA Champions League?
They can because they can gather any momentum from now.
Answer maybe in
momentum so a superior performance.
Answer maybe in twice. And right. So as Madrid the form yet.
Me
say, can they go far?
Oh, they can.
And one answer me say, yes,
maybe on back at momentum.
Me say they don't need an exceptional performance.
They need a moment to not get down extraordinary performance.
I disagree with you, no. So because they don't need an extraordinary performance, with this Real Madrid, for maybe they will display against Manchester City, they'll be consistent with that. And that
And
was
no
a
yeah
very good
extraordinary.
performance.
And also
But
yeah.
If they are not consistent,
Consistent.
now
Ebebubu, you better
the
show.
performance they've been displaying
Struggling,
recently,
you better show.
then against Bayern Munich, there's no way Madrid have a chance to qualify with that performance. I don't display.
Momentum no magada o say the abet kan so team ni see ya quite extraordinary performance on betim na come nim pa but some bo as a inconsistent no about City ne na that performance na give previously before the City game no go share Manchester City even at Etihad e be worried for Real Madrid. It's that performance on the match and take over about against Manchester City. So I'm gonna say because they are meaning they stand a chance to win. But I'm inconsistent. I'm going for that previous performance and I'm they might proud to the Etihad Santiago Bernabeu game against Manchester City now. Oh, City could better match with Etihad.
Let's move on. Let's do the matches over the weekend, coming this weekend, and we'll be starting from we'll be starting from Saturday.
It's no formation.
We start
from
from
16.
Manchester United.
Manchester United. Oh,
They say means we are you.
what tell you is wrong. On
Saturday.
Saturday, let's start from the Premier League.
Yeah, from the Premier League. So
West Ham City.
Hold on. How's my okay? So Arsenal versus Everton. Quickly.
Just my prediction on
No,
it.
like a small
Touch on it. You see, Arsenal ever against Aston Villa.
No, against Everton.
Everton. Derby number.
No,
No, it's Liverpool. Everton. Derby.
Side derby.
You see, Arsenal boy Everton. Everton team boy man. Omo dangerous when they buy into this kind of situation at Arsenal home when they need a win to compete for the league. Omo to master netia gu wadwenim pa. But you see, the mentality of Arsenal now.
Nenye duane bia kwa gari.
Gary, omo de be the fraudi ni. The mentality now for Arsenal, the manager, the players, now they say now we need to win a major trophy. And our major trophy starts with the Premier League. And now we stand the chance to win it. So we don't need to risk in giving out a performance maybe at a point we will regret. It's now you see so you're too careful in games. And where one of those games are very tricky for Arsenal and Arsenal fan beer with me. Maybe because the momentum is high and effort got that there, but with the momentum of Arsenal in games or previously in the Premier League, they want to win the Premier League and it will be difficult for Everton to cope. But in these situations, Everton actually says, so league it's difficult for you. When say winning. But I still trust Mikel Arteta and their players, the momentum, oh my God, for this major trophy, that's the Premier League. Say, even if say a difficult, say they will have their way out in this game. And for me, I predict say Arsenal in this situation is going to win against Everton.
So in the last 5 games, Arsenal has had 3 wins.
3 wins. They have.
But don't forget this game, Arsenal will be playing at the
Emirates at their home.
Yeah, they are home.
They are going to win.
Let me.
But you see, you need to involve factors. The UEFA Champions League factor.
Yes.
Maybe he's going to rest
Yes, and
players.
surprisingly, Arsenal did not win, so they might
rest a certain players.
for the
But
second leg.
I don't think so. But if say competing for the then it might difficult for most teams. International they be doing one about squad depth. In this situation, maybe Mikel Arteta can rotate, but it affect him because he have that squad depth.
Good,
But players also play pra.
Everton to this season, they are not bad at all. They
Not
are eighth on the
making.
table.
They are not bad though. It's not because this situation is tricky. The situation of Everton and the situation of Arsenal is tricky.
Okay.
Because Everton, even if say you the performance this season in these situations, only dangerous to beat. Obeba also be one go. This what you back on my show. Defending rough. And Arsenal watch them say previously with their performance. If say teams in defending or low blows, they find it difficult to penetrate with their passes. Because now the playmaking aspect of Odegaard at point in time, you see, so then the passes be penetrating. As still be too low, they be can say all doubt Martin Odegaard creative aspect because we say both sideways passes need too much. That is one effect of Arsenal mania what the format in Martin Odegaard. Because in this situation, the team need different low blocker. You need a certain Martin Odegaard in previous season. So man of the passes need penetrate. And it's a Martin Odegaard or one man no.
So the players that will be playing is Mikel Merino and
Omobi
Martin Odegaard.
and Martin Odegaard.
And a questionable Leandro Trossard.
And
then
Aston is going to win. You trust me. I think that Aston is going to win.
Everton, Carlos Alcaraz will be playing and Jack Grealish. So
Arsenal will win.
Okay, so Mark, Chelsea versus Newcastle United at the bridge.
Okay. Chelsea Newcastle this weekend. A game with it. If it wasn't the Champions League, these two clubs they competing. At this point, we games here open say beat my ABB because in as much as Chelsea are lose 5-2. I will pack the Prince, a 3-goal deficit, free bar. And it means so me and modern bomb can cry in your year. We beat maybe Stamford Bridge. Inti.
And also me and Nigidi.
Me and modern bomb beat my share. Me be make say Paris Saint-Germain with deficiencies.
Yes.
And say Chelsea and New Year go all out.
Is Chelsea not going to concede
on Tuesday? On Tuesday, on beat my ABB. Yes. And with Newcastle, so draw now. Onyano home or St James, I'll call the Spotify coming against Barcelona. Considering the fact that Barcelona and so if we're very very good at almost draw crowd of it has been 100% record of it's going to be a difficult game for Newcastle. It's a bit still the shine away from the Chelsea Newcastle game today because tomorrow because one these two coaches Liam Rosinia and Eddie Howe will like some very strong players baby, which it is sensible to do that because all UCL games like that you need your players recharged at their fully best to compete against these big clubs. Okay, cool. Now my problem is, how is Chelsea going to beat Newcastle at home? Because Newcastle prove actually say when they are playing against Chelsea, either say home or away, almost cause a lot of troubles my Chelsea. In the second set they give Chelsea a lot of competition. And we know Chelsea is having an inconsistent performance in the Premier League recently. Yeah, aware. Inconsistent pa. And considering the fact to say, almost a very restore players majority now because they are going to play against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday, A very tough competition against Newcastle. And Stamford Bridge, and he said, this season Chelsea baby bakwa. Okwa Chelsea Emma Ehonum. My fans say Chelsea air compete of finding difficult at Stamford Bridge in front of their own fans. But dropping a lot of points will fee. And the Chelsea will need to do the needful against Newcastle. Because in as much as a person could beat Paris Saint-Germain, on front to the team say the tie against Paris Saint-Germain ain't easy. So now securing a top 4 spot in the Champions League, very in the Premier League, very important for their qualification in the Champions League next season.
Okay. Because
any guarantees will be Makwa beat Newcastle will fee.
So the players how they be playing for Chelsea, they have Levi Colwill and Mikhailo Modric, reasonable players. They are in doubt is William Estevao and Bino Gittins. Now for Newcastle United, Bruno Guimaraes will not be playing. The Jacob Ramsey would be playing, and then Fabian Schär would also be playing. So that's for Chelsea. Now quickly, let's do on Sunday in the same Premier League. I want to get Manchester United. Manchester United, they will be playing Aston Villa.
Manchester United, Aston Villa. Manchester United away.
No, Manchester United will play at Old Trafford.
Old Trafford. Yeah. You see, you say it was a starting performance now. Aston Villa for the chassis this season. I'm convinced now that it is going to be a difficult match for Manchester United, and even their best will be double chance. But you see, Aston Villa for recently on performance in the Premier League, and that performance from the chassis because many inconsistent performance and again injuries because their main telemans was detecting the pace at the point where your man messy players and their forms so they pay. Okay. In this situation, and I heard the momentum Michael Carrick for team that recently I know team face a defeat. But when they say Michael Carrick performance, any how and tactical approach in the suiting the players, the materials not having now. I think say with the situation at Aston Villa now and the situation at Manchester United and the home ground to be played, I think Manchester United will get a convincing result.
So players that would be playing for Manchester United, Matisse Delete, Patrick Dogu, the Sandro Martinez is questionable, and then Mason Mount is also questionable. Now for Aston Villa, Brahim Kamara wouldn't be playing. Jadon Sancho, the loan agreement, he wouldn't be playing. Yuri Telemans is out, and then Matikash is also doubtful in there. Let's go to Spain. Mark, Barcelona versus Sevilla on Sunday.
Okay, Spain, the England can be 2 stories in Madrid match, Sevilla, of course. Madrid
do the Madrid.
Malcolm on your Barca.
No, but you're a Barca fan.
Madrid breaker.
Madrid
game. Now, Madrid they bought against Elche. You see, a tricky game. In as much as Elche, the performance recent times were for me because the last time Elche winning a game was 21st December 2025.
Okay.
There's been shambolic recently, but Elche a tricky game. Either say who yeah we. Now, one thing about Elche is now top 3 teams are more possession in the La Liga. Barcelona at top with 65.0%. Real Madrid 59.7 or something. Now the next team Elche 59.0. So it means to say Elche about game when they are very bold. In as much as opponent or no one, obey no one, or so possess, or so dominating. That's the ideal philosophy of coach Feno, Edas Arabia, because on also cry for staff for growth for Nibino. It only believe you say also Oluzi 4-3 down to win 1-0 into baby no one ball. Being the defense very high, and one bonigidi pressure. But one thing I was Madrid taking it carefully in this I know some Madrid fans to be like some be rest some players be at the Manchester City because time ain't done. On also or Tiada Ayana and Queen Tamano. Into the time ain't done to be rest some key players be now with me the Aquaco on Tuesday against Manchester City. But they shouldn't underrate Elche. Because one, Elche or the 17th. A win tomorrow means they say or getting one step ahead from the danger of relegation into March and who be here and pa. Real Madrid and Susuno. I know say they've not given up on the league yet. Because 4 points they be beat to me so many Barcelona. Be beat to me see. So they will need to win to put a lot of pressure on Barcelona. That's the key thing. Because already Yameboa or China, what is one number 1? Barcelona will game against Sevilla. Any easy fixture because in the last time Barca share Matias made a Sevilla though. And they have 4-1 against Barcelona with the Ramon Sanchez Page 1 stadium. So Real Madrid needs to be careful and do the needful against Elche. Because Elders Arabia boys, Omunsuro, they will press you. Let's not forget to say the first time in Barcelona history, the last time in business 2022 under Xavi, a team by far possession will come new over Barcelona and a team by Elche. In the man, we say Elche or Bar were very bold. They believe in their philosophy.
Did Barcelona play the Elche game at the camp? No?
At the Montjuic, sorry. At the Montjuic Stadium. And the Elche, they believe in their philosophy very well. So, I was say, Madrid for taking care of this game, get the needed results. Make Kwame Pema on starting the needed starting lineup. Get better results, maybe 2-0 in the first half. Then second, where you make Frima restaurant for the Manchester City game to avoid the risk of dropping points.
Okay. So players that wouldn't be playing. Madrid have a really tall list. David Alaba is out, Jude Bellingham, Dani Ceballos, Eden Militao, Alvaro Carreras, Franco Mastantuono, Kylian Mbappe, Ferland Mendy, and Rodrigo. But Elche, they have only Hector Forts out of that game. Lakum, the last one so that we end the show is Barcelona versus Sevilla.
Mm-hmm. You see, the last time Sevilla winning against Barcelona, it was the Camp Nou. Was in 2010. And no Copa del Rey. They are yet to win a match at the Copa del Rey at the Camp Nou against Barcelona. It will league.
Okay.
But way a difficult moment for Barcelona. And here's my reason. Next 2 matches on the ball, you know what Camp Nou, you know so decider. Back air for the league and back for the UEFA Champions League. There will be an Casa say Newcastle job na Barcelona de Camp Nou. a bit easy for them.
Okay.
Trust me, no matter the situation, a bit difficult match. And also be here intensity. The last time at Barcelona, any Sevilla boy was at the Ramos and Suarez Pizjuan. It was humiliating performance for Hansi Flick Barcelona. Eko we are saying now Matthias Almada ashen 4-1. And after the match, you will have man for crucify upon a Hansi Flick and Lewandowski. And now Mbabebo, we were GDP. Say Barcelona at the Camp Nou this season, they are yet to even draw a match. That is Camp Nou. This season, our match no board home was at their that Montjuic. But about Camp Nou, only the Kobo on my a difficult. But here's my reason why it is going to be a difficult game. Barcelona needs their materials in this game fully fit, 100% fit. And with that intensity now, on bas in games be born. Me would GDB say players never born. As it stands, 100% fit quite difficult for some players. Because it was an intense game for them. And that game now, of course, was Ramon Sarsfield Pizjuan. It was another intense game. And I see Matthias Almada philosophy and the tactics on the field to be intense one. And the Barcelona 2 games to be going now is going to be an intense game. And you need your players now fully fit. One question to ask. Barcelona that squad there for these games. Difficult angle for Barcelona. Because Frankie Dion Ene Bernardo on any bono war Newcastle after match in the because of fatigue. Intensity in this channel where they opera free. Marca said recently more matches in Pina. And you cannot rely solely on him. In that position now, Frankie Dion will free one. And again, you can trust on Eric Garcia because of the performance. But ask yourself again, can he complement Pedri? In this situation, that is another problem. But I feel said no matter the situation, I go from Barcelona in this kind of game somewhere because of the physicality aspect of both teams now on the day they bebano. That is Eddie Howe and Matthias Almada. I feel said what they can and the recent performance for Barcelona this season, what they can it will be difficult for any team when Unim says Sevilla, they are yet to even win a match against Barcelona. It will move Chrome or the Laliga. So I feel say even Barcelona could be worst results in this encounter, it will be a draw for Barcelona. Right. But for me, I don't trust Sevilla with their historical aspect facing Barcelona with the Camp Nou and their recent performance too. I don't think they stand a chance to get a win at Barcelona. Double chance for me would do, but a difficult match for me.
So Barcelona will be missing Alejandro Baldi, Andres Christensen, Frankie de Jong, and Jules Koundé. Marc Bernal is questionable.
Marc Bernal is fit, but so, per the news I was reading yesterday, it seems Wednesday or yesterday, Flick is thinking of resting him.
That's why I say he's questionable. So Macau for Sevilla, Mopi for Sevilla, and then Piqué for Sevilla. Now Cesar Spilicueta is also questionable in this game. So guys, it's where we draw the curtains down here on the show. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notification bell, and also share the 4 Post podcast. This was Offside Laughs on that same channel. We are out. I'm Albert.